as the rain pours, we get a big reveal today, and that is Young Justice Season 3 getting a trailer. And I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Spoiler alert for Young Justice Season 2. If you have any interest in watching the entire Young Justice series, I highly recommend it. So does Rotten Tomatoes, as it sits at a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. I highly recommend this as a superhero show. This is my Teen Titans. When people look back in the past and go, oh, I really want the old Teen Titans back, I really wanted Young Justice back. And Young Justice is probably the most mishandled television show by Cartoon Network. And we got a trailer for a Season 3 today. And I watched this thing, and my heart just poured out for this series all over again, just like it did when I was a young boy watching this show. And I am so happy that they're bringing this show back. But like I said, complete spoiler alert. If you care enough to watch this show, please watch it. But I'm going to go ahead and spoil this part for the people who have seen it. So, are they gone? Great! Alrighty. Young Justice Season 3. The trailer starts off with a great homage to the previous Season 2. So it recaps everything that happened in the last probably 15 minutes of the Season 2 finale. And that includes, of course, the Earth being opened up by the Reach to widespread tornadoes. Tornadoes spinning out of control everywhere. The Arctic battle finally happens. And Wally, West, and the Flash and Impulse are all running around this thing. Wally West gets evaporated through time, and the Flash and Impulse continue to run forward and feel miserable about it. Artemis looks on, and man, this got to me all over again. I remembered Wally West disappearing in the show, but I did not remember Artemis's reaction. I feel a lot closer to Artemis's reaction now than I did then. I was much younger at the time, but now I feel a I guess kind of personal connection based on just having a relationship now and like being with that. Watching someone you love die is the most miserable thing I would have to imagine. So that really got to me this time. But there's many other things that happened throughout this recap, mainly just highlighting the relationship between Artemis and Wally West and how it wasn't perfect, but they made it work and they did things together to try to get it. And Artemis's decision to infiltrate the Black Manta group, of course, and all that kind of jazz. But man, so that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm not here to talk about the recap, even though the recap is good. Now you're caught up. But what happens next is we start off with the new stuff for the season, and we see that Artemis is now still living kind of on her own after the events. I'm assuming it's a year or two afterwards, because at the end of Season 2, Dick Grayson said that he needed a break from the team, and Aqualad totally understood. And so I assume that it's a few years after that. Metahuman trafficking is up, because, you know, that's kind of what happens. When a metahuman is found, they try to exploit them and find purposes for them, sometimes military purposes, and that's what it looks like the government of Markovia has been doing for the past few years. Of course, the team that we have together wasn't really feeling that, and man, was there some tension there. It looks like everybody's aged, and it looks like we're getting a whole plethora of new characters. This includes Lobo. Man, there's so many just to even name. Ra's al Ghul's back. Vandal Savage is back. Cheshire Cat is back. We're getting Slade for a bit, it looks like. And I'm just sitting here and I'm going, oh my goodness, there's so much. Static Shock was in there. Black Lightning was in there. Shazam, Flash. I didn't see a Batman, but I'm sure he's there somewhere. And I'm just freaking out, man. I watched this and all of the joy from that show just came rushing back over me, and I'm very excited to see where this goes. Just kind of going into something I really appreciate as well. I feel like when something big happens, I'm going to use the example of Prison Break. When Prison Break ended, it ended with one of the main characters actually dying, spoiler alert. But they spent the whole next bit of the season, well, the next season, like 10 years later, trying to prove that he was still alive. Something I appreciate about Young Justice is it's taking a totally different approach to all of that. There aren't characters Wally may be dead, but we're not spending the entire season of Season 3 trying to figure out why Wally's dead. We're not trying to revive Wally West, even though I think we will at some point. I like that the first trailer was not, oh, we need to find Wally to get him back. And I just appreciate that notion, because I'm like, life goes on. You can't always bring back the characters. Granted, this is comic books and we bring back everybody. It is important that some characters do remain dead, and it looks like Wally West will be the sacrificial lamb of all of that. And I'm very excited for this. I think this is going to be one of the coolest TV shows on this late fall going into next year. And I am so excited to continue to watch this show right where I left off so many years ago, when I was a young boy, only 12 years of age when Season 2 came out, only 10 years old when Young Justice Season 1 came out. So we've been through a lot, kids, but man, I'm so glad that we're here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening to me geek out a little bit. I really do love this show. And I'm going to catch you guys in the next one.